The Tesla Model Y is finally out, and for today's video, I'm going to discuss why the Tesla Model Y is going to be my next car. Who loves bad puns? I do. Let's get started. A lot of people may be thinking that, okay, 7 months isn't exactly a long time to own a vehicle, and I totally agree. However, it is no secret within my family that we like to look at new cars literally all the time. And I have always been determined and motivated to own a Tesla one day. And I love Teslas, and I'm going to be talking about another video soon about how Tesla has impacted my life. But the Model Y is something that's very special. I have always loved crossover vehicles. I loved SUVs. You know, I grew up around Wranglers, I grew up around Land Rovers, and things of that nature. However, the only really big downside about SUVs and crossovers is that they're not very efficient. They're not good on fuel, and though they are practical, that is one of their biggest downsides. So an electric crossover like the Tesla Model Y honestly just has so many perks to it. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about 4 different reasons why the Tesla Model Y is going to be my new vehicle. First off, I'll talk about practicality. I'm going to talk about performance and technology. I'm going to talk about safety, and then I'm going to talk about advantages that the Tesla Model Y has over its competitors and why I really want to look at this vehicle next. So first section is practicality. And like I mentioned, being a crossover, the Model Y offers a ton of different practicality and different options for storage and so forth. But I want to talk about some of the practicality in the terms of driving range, as well as size comparison to the Chevy Bolt that I currently own, and then some storage options. So the driving range is 316 miles on a long range Tesla Model Y. And right now they have 2 different trims. They have the long range and then they have the performance. Eventually they will be coming out with a standard range Model Y that won't get nearly as far as the long range, but I'm assuming it's probably going to do around maybe 270, 280. Obviously that's an estimate, but the EPA rated for the long range is 316 miles and the performance is 315, which is still very impressive. Specs compared to the Bolt, length is 187 inches and the Bolt is 165 inches. Which, well, about like 164 inches, I apologize, inch off. But honestly, reading that about the length really surprised me because that's literally about 2 feet longer than the current car that I'm driving. So it just goes to show you how big the Model Y is compared to something like the Chevy Bolt. And the width is about 83.8 inches for the Model Y, and for the Bolt, it's 69.6 inches, which is obviously it just shows that the Model Y is honestly almost 2 feet wider as well than the Chevy Bolt. So the Model Y in comparison is a much bigger vehicle compared to the Bolt. And I have to say, I've seen the Model Y in person. I got a chance to look at it last night, and it is impressive up close and in person. It is much wider, it is much taller, and that's one thing that I really like about the Model Y. It definitely has a good presence. So practicality in the terms of storage. Obviously Tesla and all their other vehicles have boundless storage options, and the Model Y is definitely up there with the other vehicles in terms of storage space. But the Model Y compared to the Model 3 is actually is a hatchback. So you have a lot more storage space when it comes to taller items than you do in the Model 3 sedan. So there's about 68 cubic feet of storage within the Model Y, which is just very impressive. And that's with the seats folded down. And because you have that high roof line and that hatchback, it leaves you so much more room for storage. Compared to something like my Chevy Bolt. And now I don't necessarily carry a lot of storage. However, my dogs are with us a lot, and they definitely take up space, and it'd be very nice to actually have something that offers more storage. So similarly to other Teslas, you get a front trunk or a frunk up front where a engine would be. So that's just more storage space. And then, like I mentioned, you get more storage space in the back with the seats folded. But because there's more room where there would typically be like an exhaust system in a gasoline powered vehicle, there's another storage space underneath a little shelf in the trunk of the Model Y. So you're just getting more storage space down there, and that also offers more privacy. And one great benefit of the Tesla Model Y is that it offers 40-20-40 split seats. So if you're asking, what do those numbers mean? I'm about to tell you. Those numbers mean is that, so say for example, these are your seats, okay? My face is gonna be the middle seat. You can fold this seat down independently and fold it up. You can fold this one down independently. And then you can also fold, if you want to fold your head down, you can fold the middle seat down independently. So all the seats are independent of each other, which helps with storage and helps with, like if you're trying to configure the interior seating position, stuff like that. So it's pretty nice that the Model Y offers something like that. On to number two. Number two is performance. And now, if you've ever driven a Tesla, if you've ever been into a Tesla showroom, you know that their vehicles are incredibly sporty. And the Model Y is no exception. In fact, Elon Musk actually said, at Tesla, we don't make slow cars. And the Model Y is definitely up there in terms of performance. For the long range trim level, 0 to 60 time is about 4.8 seconds. In the performance trim level, 0 to 60 is under 3.5 seconds. So you can imagine at a car at that price point that's offering supercar speed and agility or acceleration, it's pretty impressive that the Model Y can handle like that. Now for me, obviously it's nice to get on the highway that quickly, but I don't need the performance speed. It would be nice, but I will just say that the long range is more for me. I can definitely handle doing 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. My current vehicle, the Chevy Bolt, does it in about 6.3 seconds. So it's only about a second faster, a little bit more. But the thing is that even though it's only a second faster, you can definitely feel that performance instantly, which is pretty impressive. I have not driven the Model Y yet. I just want to throw that out there, but I can imagine just from driving other Tesla vehicles, just what the performance is like on this car. So performance isn't exactly up there for me in terms of why the Model Y is going to be my next vehicle. It's an additional plus. Like I said, it's fun to go that fast, but there's a lot of other reasons why the Model Y is going to be my next car. So on to number three. Number three is technology. And obviously, if you know a thing or two about electric vehicles, they are pretty much a computer on wheels. And the Tesla Model Y is a computer on wheels, pretty much. Tesla has always been very impressive with the technology that they have to offer, especially at the price point which some of their vehicles meet. The biggest advantage for the Tesla Model Y, though, is something that some other vehicles have, but this is actually a Tesla first. This is the first Tesla to offer a heat pump. And a lot of people may think, well, why is a heat pump important? Well, here in Cleveland and in colder temperatures, most electric vehicles don't have a heat pump, which means that they're using resistant heat, or there's a coil that heats up using the energy from the battery pack. And that's not exactly the most efficient. So Tesla created a heat pump for the Model Y. And this is the first Tesla to offer it. And I'm sure in the future, other Teslas are gonna have it standard, but the Tesla Model Y has that. So pretty much what that means is that it's using the heat coming off the battery pack to pump the air into the HVAC system, which is more efficient and allows the car to heat up faster, which is pretty cool that Tesla implemented something like this in the Model Y. Autopilot is obviously probably their claim to fame when it comes to their vehicles, besides the fact that they're fully electric. Autopilot is self-driving technology that hasn't exactly reached full self-driving yet. Eventually it will, but pretty much what this system is that there's multiple cameras around the vehicle, as well as multiple different sensors that constantly is reading in real time other vehicles around you, objects, items, and different situations that could impact your driving. Tesla's hope is eventually to have this be self-driving where you can take your hands off the wheel, the steering wheel, but right now it's not to that point. But autopilot's very impressive, and the Model Y has that as well. So that will include things like the lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, the stay in lane, optional I believe is the automatic lane change, and a lot of different other features. So technology is a big reason why the Model Y would work for me. I'm kind of a tech nerd and I love technology, and just to have a literal computer on wheels sitting in my driveway that will one day eventually be able to drive itself is pretty cool. So that's the main reason, honestly, why I think the Model Y will be my next vehicle. And then the last thing that I want to mention about the Model Y is that there's really no gauges. You just have a standard 15-inch touchscreen that controls pretty much every aspect of the vehicle. That's everything from your HVAC system to your music to your seating position to just so many different things just right in the center screen. So it's impressive that Tesla has packed such technology into such a responsive touchscreen that also allows the driver to be more safe and stay informed of what their vehicle is doing. On to number 4, which is going to be safety. Safety is something that Tesla has highly focused on within their vehicles. In fact, their vehicles are actually some of the safest in the world. And there's a lot of reasons why that is. And most of the reason is exactly how they designed the chassis of the vehicle and some of the crumple zones. So remember that frunk that I mentioned earlier? That front trunk is actually a crumple zone. So what it is, if you can imagine this is the vehicle. Up front, you have a crumple zone or your storage space. And what that does is if you're ever in a head-on collision, it crumples that area inwards and then sends the energy outwards through the chassis. So it protects the passengers on the inside. Now think of it if this was a gas-powered vehicle. You have this heavy engine in front of you, and if you're in a head-on collision, that engine could come in on you, which could either hurt you pretty badly or end up killing you. So the fact that the Teslas have this crumple zone up front is exactly why the Model Y and all the other Tesla vehicles are so safe. And another reason why is exactly how they design their chassis. They call it the skateboard design. So what this is that there is it is exactly what it sounds like. There's a chassis and there's a battery pack underneath that chassis right in the center in between two axles. And what that looks like, if you can envision it, it looks like a skateboard. So what this is that it creates a low center of gravity, which plants the vehicle to the ground. And it also works as a safety net, if you want to consider it that. If you're ever in a T-bone collision, the battery pack is so rigid that it will actually not dent the side of the vehicle, and it will send the energy out of the chassis, out through the chassis, protecting the passengers, which is just very impressive. And I know that Tesla has done a great job with focusing on safety for their chassis. There's other reasons why safety is so great for Tesla vehicles. There's multiple different things. You can talk about the sensors that are surrounding the vehicles, the cameras for Sentry Mode. Sentry Mode is a security feature that works on almost like a dash cam, recording things that go on around your Tesla. There's dog mode, which will leave the AC on or the airflow. So if you leave your dog in the vehicle, they'll be safe and sound, which is a great feature. There's autopilot, crumple zones, the low center of gravity, like I mentioned, because of that battery pack being in the middle of the chassis, and then the skateboard chassis design, and then just etc. There's multiple other systems that work in tandem with each other to protect the passenger, and that's exactly why Teslas are the safest vehicles on the road, and that's exactly why the Tesla Model Y will be my next car to protect my family. The fifth and final reason why the Tesla Model Y will be my next vehicle is the advantages that it has over other vehicles out there, especially other electric vehicles. And now just keep in mind, all Teslas have pretty much these same features. So the biggest advantage for me is over-the-air software updates. My Chevy Bolt right now does not offer that, and it is a big disadvantage, especially because it kind of goes back to that common theme. This is a computer on wheels. And I really wish that GM would offer software updates to constantly update the vehicle and add new features and just make it better. Sadly, it doesn't. And hopefully in the future they do offer that. But that's one of the great benefits of Teslas, is that they do offer over-the-air software updates. So your vehicle will literally get better over time. And there's packages that you can buy that will literally upgrade your car just at a press of a button. For example, like if you want heated seats in the Model 3, which I actually think this is for the Model Y too, you can order it at, like, say for example, at your work desk, and it will download over the air to your vehicle. And since the hardware is already in the seats for the heated rear seats, pretty much it'll just get a software update. You'll walk out to your car at the end of your workday and your car will be updated, which is just incredibly impressive. So sadly, I wish other vehicles had that, but this is a huge reason why I want to get into a Tesla. The next one is mobile device control. So you can control a lot of things using your mobile phone, like exiting and entering your vehicle, locking, unlocking, starting your vehicle, as well as using features like Smart Summon, where you can summon your vehicle through a parking lot and it will come pick you up without you being in it. Just a disclosure, that is part of the full self-driving package, which is optional, and you definitely want to do it when it's safe out. So it's pretty cool that you can control your car using your cell phone. You can check on things like your temperature for your HVAC. You can check how much range you have left, state of charge, things of that nature. It's pretty cool that it's all right in your mobile device. But honestly, one of the biggest advantages that Teslas have over other electric vehicles is its supercharging network. And now what this is a nationwide network of DC fast chargers that allow you to charge your car from 0 to 80% in about 30 to 40 minutes. And that's with Supercharger version 2. Supercharging version 3 will actually charge your car much faster. And now the Model Y at a supercharging station can charge from 0 to 150, let me just double check this, 158 miles in about 15 minutes. That is just so impressive compared to the competitors. And it's something that Tesla has had an advantage over other electric vehicles for many, many years. And now the charging networks are definitely catching up, but that is just one plus that Teslas have always had. And for me, and I know for some people this might not be an advantage, but for me, I really like this. I like that the Tesla Model Y is made in America. It's made in Fremont, California. So it's American manufacturing, and it's bringing jobs to the California area and within the United States. So that's just such a huge benefit. I would love to support a company like Tesla, who is doing great things with their electric cars and doing great things for the world. So thank you, Tesla, for doing that. I really, really appreciate it, for doing that for me and for the rest of the people on this planet. Keep doing great things. And then the last one is just a totally basic reason, is that I believe the Tesla Model Y is going to change the landscape again for electric vehicles. And when I say again, Tesla has already done that. They've really pushed the industry forward when it comes to electric vehicles. And they're just doing such a great job. So keep going, Tesla. I'm rooting for you, and keep producing great cars. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And if you made it this far, please let me know if you're considering the Model Y, if you've already taken delivery of it. I would love to see one in person and get a chance to drive one. And let me know. I'd love to do a video with you and your vehicle. But once again, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and definitely make sure you make every single day electrifying. Take care and be safe, guys. See ya.